Hi, everyone. I am Miss Vitelli, and welcome to your first class of high school, Introduction to Business. It is my honor to be teaching this to you, especially because it's your first course in high school. And I just wanted you to know that, yes, this course has a lot of work in a short amount of time because we're only together for the month of July, but also that I am here to walk with you through any obstacles you may face, or if you just need some assistance or someone to run ideas with, I am here. I will be posting weekly our meeting dates, but those meeting dates are not required. They are just open. So what I'm going to do is most days will be run like office hours, and how office hours work is that there'll be a stated amount of time, let's say 1 hour, that you could come in and ask me any questions that you may have. Now, above and beyond those times, we may have scheduled times for a certain subject, especially for when we're looking at the assignment called Dragon's Den, which is worth 15% of your final grade. That one there, I will devote an entire time to, and you can come in and ask any questions or anything like that as well. So outside of those times, if you need to meet with me for some support or you need some guidance or help writing an assignment or just someone to bounce ideas off of, you can definitely book a time with me. I am more than happy to meet, and I have a pretty flexible schedule. So if that means that you need to meet with me in an evening, or if you need to meet with me during the day, that is a-okay. We can share a Zoom link and I can help you out in that way. So having said that, what is the best way to reach me outside of the established times that we will have in this course to kind of meet together and share ideas? So right here in the beginning, in the first announcement, I kind of posted a graphic with my contact information. And that contact information is my email address. So you can email me at any time with any concerns, or you can message me via D2L, which is the server that this course is on, or on Etsy. But the quickest way to get a hold of me is through Microsoft Teams. If you have Microsoft Teams, I would definitely encourage you to use it, the chat feature, and send me a message if you have any questions, because any messages that you send to me via Microsoft Teams go straight to my cell phone. So I could be outside gardening, or I could be somewhere, I could be, away from home, and I will get that alert and I'll be able to say, even if it's like a Saturday, um, oh, I'm just gardening for a bit, give me 20 minutes and let me check on that for you. So that kind of helps us stay in contact. And that is a quick way to get a hold of me. But the other methods are fine too, just sometimes they may take a little bit longer. Okay. So that's basically how to reach me outside of the times that we've established. Like I said, again, feel free to book a time with me outside of those and we can meet then too. Okay. I'm here to support you. I'm here to help you. This is your first high school course. I know it can be a little bit intimidating. Do not be intimidating. We are walking through this together, and I can still remember my first high school course. So sometimes it is a little bit intimidating. Okay, so what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to run through lesson one with you. If you have any questions, feel free to message me all day Monday, and I will be here for you. And we will be meeting on Monday as well for our orientation. But anytime after that, feel free to message me and I will help you out with this. But I feel like this one is a good introduction to the course, and it will be okay for you to go through kind of independently, especially after you watch this video. So if you all feel like you can handle this module on your own or you don't require any support, you can stop watching this video now. The important stuff has been said about contacting me throughout the course. But if you want some additional help, just please continue to follow me and I will walk you through this course and this module and this lesson, and specifically the assignment attached to it as well. So lesson one, money and income. The key idea of this lesson is money plays an important role in society today, not only because of its use of medium of exchange, but for its many functions. The responsibilities that go hand in hand with earning money include proper spending and budgeting. So it's not all just about making it, especially as we grow older, we really need to have an understanding of how to save for things that we would like to purchase, whether they be small purchases, like maybe a new video game, or larger purchases like something like a home in the future. So things like this, really, we need to have an understanding of budgeting and how we're going to achieve our goals that we set for ourselves financially. So this course is really going to bring you through that. And this lesson is really going to help you understand how money works. So by the end of this lesson, you will be able to describe and explain the 4 forms and 4 functions of money. Read a pay stub and paycheck, pretty super important, especially if you're going to have your first job in a few years. Explain the terms that relate to income. Calculate the amount of personal income tax owed to the government given someone's gross pay. So this is what we're going to go through. So topic A is, what is business? This pre-assessment is designed to act as a brainstorming tool to help you better understand what you will be studying over the next 110 hours in Introduction to Business. In the Padlet below, describe in your own words what the term business means to you. So I can't tell you what the term business means to you. You need to kind of think about it. What does business mean to you? And when you have an answer, you can hover over this pink circle with the little white cross. And if you just do that, plus sign, whatever you want to call it, if you just hover over it, you're going to get a pencil and the color is going to change to a more like red color. And you want to click there. It's going to bring you up something here. And you can kind of tell me what you think business is. Tell yourself what you think business is. Enter it, and that's it. That's all you have to do there, okay? So what would you do? Business case. You are a small furniture store business owner and your competitors have put up some rather large signs advertising for their stores. What's your next move? Okay, so you have this furniture store, you're a small mom and pop store, and this competitor has come along and put these gigantic signs advertising their furniture. So what you need to do here is click on this link where it literally says click here to create your storefront sign. Okay, and you're going to go over this overview and the scenario again, which is kind of what we talked about, and what you would write for your advertisement. And you can kind of look at some ideas down there, and that's it for that exercise. So we go down to forms of money. There are 4 forms of money in Canada. Students will learn about minted coins, banknotes, virtual money, and specific organization money in the following video. Form describes the physical attributes of something. What does it look like? Okay, that is the form of money. What does it look like? Okay, so you can watch this video. It's only a few minutes long, but it's a good introduction to the forms of money. And then the functions of money is topic C. Well, form describes what something looks like. Function describes what something does. So form is what it looks like. Function is what it does. Below you will find the 4 things that we use money for, or what money actually does for us. This is called function. Form is what something looks like. Function is how something is used or its purpose. This activity examines how we use money. So there's ways that we use money. Medium of exchange. We exchange money for goods and services that we want to consume. You trade your money for a new pair of shoes at the local mall. So basically, how do we use our money? How do we use it? We buy things. So again, with that example of the video game, there's a video games that you really, really want, you're exchanging your money for the ability to play that game, own that game, have that game, okay? And prior to the kind of establishment of money within Canada, there was a huge reliance on trade. So prior to us getting into like coins and currency, there was an establishment of trade. And what trade means is basically, I have this cup. Oh, it's a really nice cup. I will trade you this cup for your calculator. And you're going to give me your calculator for my cup, and we're going to exchange. Okay, we're going to trade. So it took a while for Canada to establish one currency that we could use. There was a lot of different currencies being invented until what we have today with our coins and our bills. So let's look at store value. We store, save money, and it does not lose face value. If you put $10 into a piggy bank to save it, then it'll be worth $10 later on when you take it out to use it. Okay, that is the store value. The standard of value. We use money as a standard to put value on goods and services. We compare things based on value, and that value is in dollars. So depending on where you live in what country, you're going to have a different standard of value. And we, on the world stage, kind of are able to compare and contrast those values. So for example, our Canadian dollar is usually worth less than a United States of America dollar. And so when we exchange that, called currency exchange, we usually get less for our money than we would if we had American dollars, and they get more Canadian dollars for their American dollars. Okay. Standard of future payment. We calculate how much it will cost to borrow money using money. So when you borrow money, unless you have a really nice family member or friend, you are usually going to have to spend more money than just the borrowing. So if somebody lends you $100, especially if it's a bank or another institution, you're going to end up having to pay more than that $100 back to that bank or that institution. And usually that's in the form of interest. So if you're thinking of something like that $100 example where you have borrowed that 100, you could end up paying $110, $115, 120, even 130 or $40. So borrowing money, unless you know somebody really nice, is usually never free, right? So the cost of borrowing money is pretty high. So we can talk about the standard of future payment. So there's a little summary for all four of them. And then there's this really activity that I really, really, really like. And it kind of asks you to sort the form of money and the function of money based on what was above this and what we just talked about. So you literally can click and drag on each of these objects and put them in the right box. Either it belongs in the form of money or the function of money. So for example, minted coins is a form of money. And I just drop it right in there. Once you've used all 8 of these, it'll tell you you're correct by you clicking on check, this oval down here. It'll check your work and it'll tell you if you have a good understanding of these 2 categories, and you can move on. So topic D is acquiring money. According to the World of Business textbook, there are 4 ways that Canadians acquire money. These are outlined in the presentation below. You can view this presentation. And then there's another Padlet, which is again the idea of adding your thoughts to a question. Other than the 4 ways studied earlier, what are other ways that you can acquire money? Double click anywhere on the screen, add your name, and then your list of ideas. So same idea, you click here. What other ways can you think of? Add them to there. Employment income. Go through the presentation on pay stubs and paychecks below. You can view that presentation. And then personal income versus business income. And I actually wanted to explain this one a little bit more. So I'm just going to kind of get my pen ready. So personal and business, let's go through personal first. Your gross pay is your salary or your money received for labor. So let's say somebody works 10 hours for $10 an hour, just for easy math, okay? So $10 for 10 hours of work. And so we would call that our salary. We would call that what that person earns for the day for their wages. So that person is earning $100 gross pay. That is the money earned for their job. Okay. Now we need to consider their deductions. So what is deducted from their pay to pay things like income tax, Canadian pension, unemployment, et cetera, okay, employment insurance, et cetera. So let's say their deductions, just for, again, easy math, were $30, okay? Okay. So then their net pay is their gross pay, what they made prior to deductions, subtracted by their deductions. So you need to take away their deductions from their original gross pay, and it leaves them with a net pay of $70. Okay. This is the money that goes home with the employee, or rather, nowadays, most employers will pay employees by direct deposit. So that's the money that will appear on whatever payday that employer has established for that employee. Okay, that's going to go into their bank account. Most employers pay by direct deposit. There are still some that use checks, but for the most part, this is how people are getting their pay nowadays. So that is the money that is the net amount, what that person is allowed to or can spend on things like, expenses, bills, personal likes, et cetera, et cetera. It's kind of similar with business, with the gross income being how much money the company makes prior to any costs and expenses, which are kind of like deductions. Okay, so how much money does that business make? Well, let's say the business is Balloons R Us, and they make balloons. And in one day, they make $1,000. Okay, so on Monday, they sold so many balloon creations, and they made $1,000. So that is their gross income, what they make in one day. And then their costs and expenses. So costs are monies paid to purchase or make products that the business is selling. So if this company is based on like making balloon creations, they're obviously going to need the balloons to make the balloon creations. So they're either going to make the balloons themselves in maybe a small factory, or they're going to buy those balloons from a manufacturer or a third party that's going to provide them with the balloon. So let's say the balloons cost, just for again, easy math, we're going to say the balloons cost $200, okay, to actually make. And they don't have any other expenses right now. So maybe they don't have any employees to pay, it's just them. So their net income is $800. Okay. Again, it's their gross income, and you subtract their costs and expenses to get your net. So basically, the idea of net is what is left over at the end of the day. What do people or businesses get to walk away with as their money that they have? Okay. That gives you an idea of what that is. Let me just erase all of this, or it will follow me down to the next activity. Okay. So if you scroll down after this, you're going to get a quick question that kind of tests your understanding of what net pay is for an individual. You just select one and then you click on check, and it'll check to see if you're right. And if you're not right, just try it again. Look back here, answer again, recheck it, okay? And then we're going to get to our assignment. And our assignment is on a Word document. So when you've opened up your assignment, and I'm just going to do that myself. It'll go on my other screen, so just give me 1 second. Okay. So this is your first lesson assignment, and it's called, again, Money and Income, matching with what you're learning right now. And so using the lesson on money and income in your own understanding to answer the following questions in full sentences. What is money? And filling in this chart. So please use your own words, but you can use the material in the lesson as guidance. So feel free to look back and kind of just change how you're saying it to answer the questions. What are the 4 functions served by money? List them and talk about them. In many arcades, a person buys tokens to use for games. Within the walls of the arcade, these tokens and the tickets won from them can often be used to buy food and drink, or even a ride, an amusement park ride. Do these tokens serve all 4 functions of money? Why or why not? So you'll have to look at the 4 functions of money that are listed on that lesson and decide whether the tokens serve all 4 functions of money. Okay. Imagine you are a barber in the world without money. Explain why it would be tricky to obtain groceries, clothing, and a place to live. So think about the functions of money when you're thinking about this. Why would it be difficult? What would happen? How would you get your groceries? How would you get your clothing? So thinking about what that scenario would look like. And I kind of explained about the idea of reliance on trade, and also the idea that different currencies were being established all over Canada. And it was really hard to kind of be able to see what was worth what. So looking back at the lesson, try your best to answer that one. With your money, you can buy things you need or want. Would you be using personal or business income to do so? What is a need? What is a want? Okay, so let's talk a little bit about needs. Needs are things that we need in order to survive. For example, we all need food to survive. Okay, eventually we need to eat. But a want is saying, I want to eat Swiss chalet for dinner tonight. That is a want, but it's not a need. If you don't have Swiss chalet and instead you have food from your fridge at home, you're not going to wither away. You're going to be fine. So, wants are things that we desire, but not necessarily really need. Okay. And needs are like things that we require in our lives. So, if you kind of brainstorm some of your needs, it's air, water, shelter, food, et cetera, to kind of live a life. And maybe your wants are, to go on a vacation or to play a video game or to read a good book or to go for a swim, etc. But they don't, you don't rely on them for your existence. Okay. So many of these things you need and want come at a cost. They aren't free. Technology provides a variety of options for obtaining many of our needs and wants in stores through catalogs and online shopping. Businesses are generally happy to offer convenience services such as home delivery, layaway plans. Layaway plans is an idea that you pay a down payment on an object you want to buy, and then you come in at certain times to that store and make a payment on them. This was really popular in decades before. It doesn't happen as much anymore, but let's say you were buying a PS5 and you don't have all the money right away, you could go over to Walmart and say, "Here's $100. I will be back next Tuesday, and I will pay you another 50 until I pay off this item." Um, Sorry, where am I? Layaway plans and in-store assistance, as long as they are making a profit. In simple terms, they sell goods and services at a price higher than their costs. Without the motivation of making a profit, businesses wouldn't exist. And in turn, we exchange our hard-earned money to satisfy our needs and wants. Provide an example for each of the needs included in the table. Then identify how each need can become a want. The first item is provided as an example. So the example is healthcare. The need is dental hygiene. We need to have dental hygiene. It's very important to our health. If we don't have good dental hygiene, we can get really, really sick. There's not just about the appearance of our teeth, but that something could really happen bad to us. And then the want is braces. You don't need to have braces to straighten your teeth. It's a want. Okay. So the another examples that you need to fill out are dinner, transportation to school, shelter, clothing, water, and cleaning. We kind of just did dinner with the idea of need is the need for food and the want is to like go to Swiss Chalet. So once you are finished all that, you can upload it and I will be marking your first assignment. So thanks so much for joining me and for walking through this with me. If you have any questions, I am here. Have a glorious day. Take care of yourselves. Bye-bye.